Everybody has got something. I don't care who you are. I don't care if your Reverend Randall better than you. I don't care if your bishop got it going on. I don't care if your prophet got it going on in Jesus' name, LLC. I don't care who you are. Everybody's got something. Something creep messing with you. It's a struggle we were talking about last week. If you ain't got a struggle, then what do you need God for? Why do we got chairs in here if there ain't no struggle? Y'all just come in, get saved, go on about your business, never see you again. The struggle shows you that something real is happening in your life. That's how I know. When I'm struggling, I know I got something real happening in my life. I know that God has taken me to a new level. I know He's taken me to a place I ain't never been. He's turning me into something I ain't never thought I could be. He's taken me to a place that I'm not qualified to go, to prove a point that it ain't me anyway. That's how I know. That's how I know it's real. When He takes me out of my comfort zone, way away from what I'm used to, and I didn't get a vote, and most of us don't, but I was created for His pleasure, for His purpose, and I am going to do what I'm created to do, and there is no devil in hell that is going to stop me from doing what God has me planned for. Whether I like it or not, whether I want to participate, whether I want to show up, we're going to go where we're going to need to go. Because God is sovereign. God's God all the time. God's God right now. God's God right now. Okay, wait. Still God. God, yeah. Let's see. No, God's still God. All the time. God's plan is God's plan. I may not understand God's plan, but God knows what He's doing. He likes what He's doing, and He's going to do what He's doing, whether I think it's cool or not. He ain't never checked in with me when I was out there in the world doing my thing. He doesn't have to check in with me now. We go where we need to go based on what He needs to do. And the cool thing is that God protects us. But the thing you got to keep in mind is that He protects people He can use. Yeah? What would be the reason for God to protect somebody He couldn't use? See, when I was out there acting crazy, He protected me. I didn't make it because I was bad. I made it because He protected me. When I was talking crazy and acting a fool, He protected me. When I thought I was the toughest thing on the block, He protected me. When I was due to be killed, He protected me. When I was out there, should have been OD'd in the gutter, He protected me. Because He could use me. See, my thing is, if you win the argument with God about what you don't want to do for Him, maybe I lose divine protection. Because if maybe the reason He's protecting me is because He's going to use me, maybe if somehow I win the argument, I'm going to lose that. And I don't know about you, but I needs me some divine protection. I still have a natural propensity to act like a fool from time to time. Anybody here do that? Maybe like on Tuesdays or, you know. Peter wasn't no match for no Roman soldier. In so much so, he didn't even cut a Roman soldier, did he? No. He cut a slave. Yeah? The priest's slave cut his ear off. All the Roman soldiers were standing around. He wasn't no match for them. He wasn't no warrior. He was a fisherman with a knife. What happened? For whatever reason, the soldiers didn't jump on him. God was protecting him. He had a plan for him, even though he was acting a fool. The reason I ain't dead, the reason I didn't lose my mind, the reason I didn't blow my brains out, is because He was protecting me. He's protecting me from them. He's protected me from me. He's protected me from the enemy. Because He had a plan. And His plan was not necessarily that I was going to be cool, or that I was going to have a good life, or that I was going to be successful, or any of those things. His plan was that I would be a fisher of men. His plan is that He would take somebody that was completely incapable and have him do something that would prove God's power. That was the deal. I'm still here after all of that. ODing, still here. Heart attack, still here. Cancer, still here. Conviction after conviction after conviction, still here. Drug addiction, alcoholism, still here. Car accidents, still here. Been shot at, been knifed, still here, still here, still here, still here. By His grace, still here. Because He had a greater plan. When I was weak, He kept me. When I was strong, He kept me. When I was out of line, He kept me. When I was in line, He kept me. Does that all make sense? Does anybody, can you relate to that? I mean, because really? Because I know there's a lot of folks that tell you that the reason that God takes care of you is because you're a good kid. I'm sorry, but I'm just not in that car, because I've just never been a good kid. You know? I mean, I'm not, you know? I'm no big fan of Paul. I'm just not. Paul impresses me. Paul did some stuff that I would never even dream of doing. But I'm not a big fan of Paul. I don't talk a lot about Paul's writings. But I'll tell you one thing that I know for sure. When he wrote, I want to do right, but I don't. I don't want to do wrong, but I do. I understood that. I understood that. And that dude was cooler than I'll ever dream of being. That was a dude that could write a letter and change a whole town. That was a dude that could be tortured and still preach. That was a dude that could do time, and when he was chained to a Roman soldier, didn't see himself as chained to the Roman soldier, saw the soldier chained to him so that he could preach the gospel and the soldier couldn't get away. Yeah, that's what he saw. Real deal, that's what he saw. He didn't see that he was chained. He saw that that dude was chained so he couldn't get away. That's the kind of brain this guy had. And yet, wrote, I don't want to do wrong, but I do. I want to do right, but I don't. What can save a horrible creature like me? Jesus. It's always Jesus. In the end. Jesus says to Peter, this is another one I really relate to, because my life has been many shades of this statement. Jesus says to Peter, Simon, Simon, Satan desires to have you. That's what the enemy wants. To have you. Not just to tempt you. Not just to seduce you. Not even to just control you. He wants to have you. Have you. And once he has you, he wants to sift you like wheat. To destroy you. That's what Jesus told him. He said, the enemy is desired to have you, that he may sift you as wheat. And Jesus didn't tell him no. Jesus didn't tell Satan no, because he knew. Satan's very legalistic. Our enemy is very legalistic. He's not going to ask for you if he ain't got a legal right. Jesus said, but I've prayed that your faith will not fail you. And when you return to me, you can strengthen your brethren. Every time that I have ventured out into the shadow of darkness, in the valley of darkness, that's always been Jesus' prayer for me. It's not that I wouldn't go, but that my faith would remain so that when I returned, I could strengthen my brethren. And that's his prayer for each and every one of us in our struggle. Because when we're on the line and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing and we're winning, we're cool. But when we lose a little bit, the world starts to win out. He takes the plan of the enemy, which is to destroy me, turns it to his glory, and uses it as a tool to strengthen my brothers. So that when I come back from way over here in the darkness, and I come back and I'm like, oh man, I barely made it. My brother that's still over there, I can say, hey bro, I know. Come on. God didn't send me into the darkness. God didn't force me out into the darkness. God didn't tempt me. God didn't stir up all this trouble. The enemy did that. But what he does is he takes it and turns it to his glory. so that when I come back, he can use it as his tool to show everybody that if he could save a knucklehead like me, how much more could he do for you? That's how I become a fisher of men. It's not by becoming a good preacher. It's not by becoming, well-versed in all the various concordances of the Bible or anything like that. It is allowing God to take my mess and turn it into his message. It is taking my foolishness and confounding the wise. All the things that were my weaknesses and turning them to proofs of his glory and his strength. That's the thing. That's why each and every one of us is in ministry. That's why each and every one of us is a minister. That's why each and every one of us has been knighted to do this work. You know? I mean, we're here tonight. And the cool thing is that I will not be crushed. There's this thing in 2 Corinthians. It's very cool. For it is God who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, who has shone in our hearts to give the light of knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. Let's do that. Say, the light is in me.
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 But we have this treasure in earthen vessels that is the excellence of the power that may be of God and not of us. I've got a treasure. I got a treasure. Say it like you mean it now. Come on.
I got a treasure.
It ain't real if you don't say it. Come on. The power of life and death lies in the tongue. I got a treasure.
I got a treasure.
We are hard pressed on every side, but we are not crushed. Say, I am not crushed.
I am not
We are
crushed.
perplexed, but not in despair. Say, I do not despair.
I am not despair.
Perplexed, but not forsaken. I am not forsaken.
I am not forsaken.
Struck down, but not destroyed. I am not destroyed.
I am not destroyed.
Isn't that cool?
Yes, it is.
Isn't that cool? You're not forsaken. Isn't that cool? You're not destroyed. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? We're here. We're safe. Brought up out of the darkness. We don't have to despair. We're not forsaken. We'll not be destroyed. We are absolutely safe. It's the coolest thing in the world. But the thing that ain't cool, and the thing that breaks my heart every time we come in here, is that this seat right here belongs to somebody that is in despair, that is absolutely convinced that the darkness that is encroaching around them is going to engulf them and that they have gone too far to ever find the light again. That seat right there belongs to somebody that feels that they are forsaken, that God has left them behind and that they will never have another opportunity to stand in his glory. And that seat belongs to somebody that thinks they'll be destroyed, that believes that they are not going to make it because they've done too much and that God just doesn't love them anymore. But they will not be destroyed. They do not despair. They will not be forsaken. And the reason is he has given each and every one of us a specific message that can reach each of those people. Your girl can't hear it from nobody but you. Your girl, nobody but you. Your guy can hear it from nobody but you. My guy can't hear it from nobody but me. And they're out there right now waiting to hear it. We got this thing going on tomorrow called Back to Church Sunday. We've been inviting people to come back to church, you know, because they did this study a while back, and it's crazy. If I asked you what you thought the percentage of people that ain't going to church right now, if you asked them if they would come to church, the percentage of those people that would say yes, what do you think it would be? 10%? 15? 80. 80%. 8 out of 10 people out there in the world that ain't going to church right now, that ain't got a connection with God, that's in despair, that feels forsaken, that feels that they'll be destroyed. 8 out of 10 of those people are just waiting for somebody to say, get in the car. Come on. It's for you too. How crazy is that? So there's 8 people out there somewhere in 10 that each and every one of us can turn on to this thing. Because the thing is I wasn't saved so that I could come and hang out in a museum for saints. I was saved so I could go back out there and drag some sick folks into a hospital for the broken. That's what each and every one of us have. We have a gift. Part of our gift is I was busted and now I'm not. There's another part of our gift too. The part of our gift that a lot of us don't know about is the one where I said, well, I'd love to help that guy that's forsaken, but I'm just busy. I've got so much stuff going on right now. Maybe somebody else can do it. Well, even though I was busy, I went. That's testimony. Yeah, that guy that's getting ready to get destroyed, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not really qualified. I mean, I don't know the Bible real good and stuff. And if you ask me questions, I won't know what to say, But I went anyway. That's the testimony. That's the deal. Even though I wasn't qualified, even though I was too busy, even though I didn't feel like it, even though I was afraid that they would laugh at me and they would call me names, I went anyway. I went anyway. Because when God calls you, it says drop your nets. You got 2 choices. Keep them or drop them. You don't get to take them with you. My net, I don't know about your net, but my net was full of all kinds of stuff I couldn't eat anyway. You know what I mean? I was out there fishing and fishing and fishing. I wasn't coming up with nothing that was worth eating, believe me. So, you're going to leave your net behind or not. When it's all said and done, the business of being fishers of men, it's a simple thing. All you got to do is tell somebody the truth. And I've only given you homework a couple of times, and it's going to be another one of them times. I'm going to tell you, tonight, on your way home, how many people are going to stop on the way home, go to the store, or pick something up? Yeah, I know I always do. We always end up going to Walmart in the middle of the night on the way home. Find somebody. Tell them who you are. Just tell them who you are. If you don't know where to go, 7-Eleven, Walmart, man, there's some ministry needs to be going on there. If you're at 7-Eleven or Walmart in the middle of the night, things did not go the way you had them planned. And tell them what happened. Just tell them what happened. Tell them I ain't who I used to be. I may not be who I ought to be. I'm sure not who I'm going to be. But I ain't who I used to be. And you don't have to be either. See if you can find your 8. Because they're out there waiting on you. It's the whole reason he saved you.